where he says strictly, if you pay a preacher to preach, you are committing a sin. If you pay a preacher to preach, you are committing a sin.
So the claim is Pastor Geno Jennings says that a pastor getting paid to preach is a sin, based on 1 Corinthians 9:18. Well, let's read it first. It says, "What then is my reward? That in my preaching I may present the gospel free of charge, so as not to make full use of my right in the gospel." So that one sentence, he's saying, or it's claimed that he's saying, that being paid to preach is a sin. Well, what if we actually read all of Paul's speech? What if you read all of chapter 9? And, what Paul was talking about. But let's just go back to 15, right? Where we know in this chapter that Paul's talking about he wanted to be considered an apostle. He wasn't considered an apostle. The other apostles were getting paid. They were getting taken care of, so to speak. And he wasn't. And he thought that he met all the guidelines. But it wasn't that he was saying, give it to me. He was saying, I should get it, but it's okay if I don't. Let me just show you. Let's go back to verse 15. "But I have made no use of any of these rights, nor am I writing these things to secure any such provision. For I would rather die than have anyone deprive me of my grounds for boasting. For if I preach the gospel, that gives me no ground for boasting. For necessity is laid upon me. Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel. For if I do this of my own will, I have a reward. But if not of my own will, I am still entrusted with a stewardship." So he's okay with the reward of sharing the gospel. He's okay with not getting paid. He believes he should, but it's okay if he doesn't, because at least it means that, there's no excuse that he's doing this of his own will. And there's no money exchanged. That's what he's talking about. Nowhere in this chapter does it refer to being paid to preach as being a sin. I think it's very important that we study and we don't just take one passage out of context. But have a blessed day. I got is a big guy. He's a great guy. He's a big guy.